Bert here, and today I'm going to talk to you about this, the Sony Z1R. Now this is Sony's flagship headphone. That means it's top model, but it's drawn a lot of controversy. Some people love it, some people don't. Even my own mentor, the guy who taught me everything I know about headphones, he's just not a big fan. Hey, Santa.
Hey, you really gonna do this?
Do what?
Review headphones?
Well, I'm gonna give it a shot, yeah.
You know, it's not as easy as everybody thinks.
I know.
I need to retire anyway.
All right, well, we'll get back to him. Now, the Z1R. So who is Sony? Who does Sony think they are, coming up with a flagship headphone? Well, let me tell you, if you're a headphone nerd like I am, the reason you're in this hobby is probably because of Sony. Because Sony started this whole headphone craze way back in the 80s with this. Here's my very first Walkman, Sony Walkman from the 80s. It only had FM, but it sounded incredible. It still does. Then I even got a cassette and a recorder, and then eventually even a mini disc. Sony came up with all this technology. They invented the Walkman in the 80s, and then invented this, the mini disc, in the 90s. So Sony has a history with this stuff. They know what they're doing. In 1989, Sony came up with what is still considered the greatest headphone ever, the Sony R10, or what I call the Holy Grail. After that, well, they made a lot of consumer-level headphones. And they did come out with the Sony Qualia, which was, well, it was unique, you know, but not too much going on with Sony and high-end, until just recently. Now, several years ago, Sony decided to get back in the flagship headphone business and compete with the big boys. So they came up with this, the Sony Z7. But the Z7 got mixed reviews from the public. And here was Sony, a company that had made the greatest headphone ever, the R10, putting out their best effort, and people were mixed. Sony must have been, well, not too happy about that. So they said, oh yeah, you don't like it? Well, guess what? We're gonna put money and time and effort and do it right. We're gonna invest. And they did. And they came up with the Sony Z1R. So here they are. Sony's best effort. All their research, all their innovation went into this headphone. Let's talk about it. Now, it's a closed dynamic headphone, or what we call circumaural, meaning it goes all the way around your ear. Now, it's a sealed headphone, not completely sealed, I would say. Some sound seeps out, but not very much. They're pretty good at isolating. In fact, what I love about them is, well, you step into your own musical world, and the rest of the world outside disappears. The headband here is made of beta titanium, and it's really flexible. It's covered in real leather. The impedance of these headphones is 64 ohms. So what that means is, well, you could basically power it out of an iPhone. You don't need a lot of power. Of course, I'd still use a nice amplifier. What about the case? Well, let me get it. Okay, this thing is huge. It doesn't even fit in the frame. Wow. So a very enormous and heavy case comes with the Sony Z1R. Let's look inside. Once you open the box, you'll notice a bag in there. You got to pull out the bag to pull out the case. And here's the case. It is a thing of beauty, I have to say. Made out of leather. I don't know if you could see the stitching on the side here, but it's really, really nice. Here, this latch is made of aluminum, and it's got a little magnet on it too. Just open it up there. And there you go. Getting back to the Z1R, I have to say, this thing is really well built. Sony put a lot of time into this. It is just gorgeous and refined. This is a superbly built headphone. These pads here are made of sheepskin leather, and boy, are they luxurious. Super comfortable to have on. And a lot of people ask, do they get hot? Well, I guess with extended wear or maybe in hot weather, but not for me. I didn't experience too much of that. I love them. But you know what? Not surprising here. Sony always makes comfortable headphones.
Excuse me?
Yeah?
How can you say that? Isn't that a sweeping generalization?
No, Sony makes comfortable headphones.
I do not believe you.
Oh yeah? Okay, I'll show you.
Cozy? These feel like cushions. These are like giant pillows. I can't even feel these on my head. Am I wearing anything at all?
Satisfied?
Okay. Sony makes comfortable headphones.
Now, they only weigh 385 grams, or that's about 13.5 ounces. I'd say they're just about as comfortable as the Sony Z7. They're very, very light. Right, now I want to give you a good look at the driver. Can you see that right there? Now, the driver is what, where the sound comes from. And this is a 70 millimeter driver. That is huge. Keep in mind that most headphones have a driver that's about 40 to 50 millimeters. The diaphragm of the driver is aluminum coated. And this little silver thing in the middle, the circle there, that's a magnesium dome. It's extremely thin. And, of course, you'll notice the grill. Sony's been talking about this. You see that grill that kind of looks like sunflower, like a sunflower seed flower? Well, that's called a Fibonacci patterned grill. And supposedly, according to Sony, this is designed to reproduce high-frequency sounds smoothly. So, sorry, this is kind of heavy here. Now, what that means is that the grill causes the least amount of disruptions in the higher frequencies. Now, the other interesting thing about this headphone is what they did to counter resonance. Let me show you that. Now, Sony did something very, very interesting to get rid of resonance. Something unique, and it's right in here inside the acoustic resistor.
Wait a minute, Bert.
Yeah?
What is resonance?
Oh, well, have you ever heard a seashell?
What do you mean?
You ever put a seashell to your ear and listened?
No.
Hold on. Right, now I want you to put your ear right next to the seashell here.
This is a conch shell.
Sorry, the conch shell. Now, what do you hear?
Oh, I hear the ocean. The wonderful rushing waves.
That is called resonance. And resonance means that the sound in the room here, where we are, is bouncing all over the place inside this seashell. It's resonating. And that creates a hissing sound, or a shh.
Yes, the ocean, yes.
Now, that's an interesting thing for a seashell, but we don't really want that in a headphone. Now, if any of you want to experience resonance, just cup your hand on your ear, like this, and listen. You hear it? That's resonance. Very, very bad in a headphone. Now, when you put on the Z1R, you put it on your head, even if you're not playing any music, it is dead silent. And that's because of this acoustic filter or resistor that Sony came up with. And it's very unique. It's made out of Canadian softwood, but that's not the interesting part. The interesting part is that they used washi paper. You know Japanese doors? They're made out of this very thick paper. It's made out of long fibers, and what it does is it deadens the sound. It gets rid of resonance. I love this idea. It's very unique. Never seen this before, and it's also very artistic. The Japanese often make very artistic decisions in their headphones, and I love this. So fascinating, fascinating tech here. Now, you can't see the filter because it's inside, right behind this stainless steel housing protector here. And let me just talk about that. This grill is made of stainless steel, like I said, and it is beautiful, beautifully shaped. And also, it is scratch resistant. I've bumped these around, haven't dropped them yet, thankfully. But I have bumped them around a little bit and not a scratch. They look brand new. Now the cables. Z1R comes with two cables. Both cables are silver coated, oxygen free. And let me show you the first one here. Now here's the first cable. It's 3 meters or almost 10 feet long. It's gold plated stereo mini plug, 3.5 millimeter or 1/8 inch. But it also comes with a really, really nice 6.3 millimeter or 1/4 inch adapter. All right, there's a 1/8 inch, and there's a 1/4 inch adapter. This is the second wire, a 1.2 meter or 3.9 feet L-shaped gold-plated Pentacon connector. Now this wire is shorter than the other one, but it is balanced using Sony's proprietary 4.4 millimeter Pentacon connector, and you see that it has 5 different sections to it. Now, I wanted to give you a close-up look at this thing because it is just beautiful. It is one of the nicest looking connectors I've ever seen with that nice gold plate right there. See that? Nice job, Sony, and I hope this thing becomes universal. Now let's talk about the sound, and here's where there's been a little bit of controversy, but I'll tell you what I think. To me, they are soft, stress-free, no fatigue headphones. Just relaxing to listen to. You have to ask yourself, do you listen to headphones to be analytical, to listen to every detail? Do you listen to headphones because you want to get up and go and start dancing? Do you listen to headphones because they motivate you to go to work? These headphones are made if you listen to headphones to relax, which is what I listen to headphones for. Get home from a day of work, working real hard, Lie down with these and oh boy, it is like a massage for the brain. I love them, but don't get me wrong here. Even though they're very relaxing to listen to, they are very, very detailed, very transparent. So they pull both of those things off. Relaxing yet detailed. Normally detailed headphones can be a little analytical, a little bright, but not these guys. It's a wonderful combination, and I have to say, I'm very impressed. Now this big 70mm driver, it gives the Z1R a lot of authority. Very unique. You don't see that in many headphones. And the Soundstage is really, really good. It's not an open back design, right? So you won't quite have the same feel as an open back headphone, but for a closed headphone, they have a very wide, very spacious soundstage. Very impressive. You hear that's the sound outside of your head, and I really like that. Let's talk about the bass, mids, and the highs. These headphones have an incredible bass performance. Lots of bass, but not over the top, not too much. And as I said, those big 70mm drivers, they give the bass a lot of authority. So it's got power, it's got agility, and the bass is detailed. Just a wonderful combination. You can listen to music and hear these textured bass lines that just, you hear every detail, and it's powerful, it hits hard, but not overdone. It's not a subwoofer, so it doesn't have super powerful sub bass, but the bass is indeed very impressive. I really like the mids on these, and that's where there may be a little bit of disagreement, because to me the mid-range sounds slightly withdrawn, and that takes a little getting used to. Because if you're used to other headphones, like the Sony HD800, or even my other headphone here that I have is the Beyerdynamic T1, the mids are present. They're right there, right in front of you. With these, they are slightly withdrawn, and that's why they're a little more relaxed sounding. And so it could take a little bit of getting used to if you're not used to that, but I find it very enjoyable. The highs are very nice, very crisp. I would not call this a bright headphone. But they're slightly lowered, and I think that's part of what makes this sound just so relaxing. The sound is very well controlled, composed, articulate, detailed. I would call these things very, very chill. And what's interesting is no matter what type of music you listen to, that relaxing sound just travels, goes across genres. So the thing that may be controversial is a lot of people listen to headphones for accuracy. These are not what I would technically call accurate headphones. It's like wearing a pair of sunglasses. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Sometimes on a sunny day, you like wearing sunglasses, right? But is what you're seeing accurate? Not exactly. You're seeing things a little darker than they actually are. But you're still seeing things precisely, right? You're seeing every detail with the sunglasses on. And that's what these do. They're like subtle, subtle sunglasses for sound. And it's not like any other headphone or flagship headphone I've ever heard. There's nothing like this. If you like to chill, you like to relax, and you like to just kick back with your music, these are absolutely ideal. Now I tried these on different amplifiers, including my high-end amps, a cell phone, and I don't think they're very amp dependent. I mean, they sound good. They do scale up quite well. So if you put them into a really nice amp, you will hear a difference. But not enormously. They're not amp dependent, meaning they're not picky about the amp you give them like the old HD800 was. Now I've listened to these on tubes, solid state, and hybrid, and they sound fantastic. And now let's talk about the weaknesses. Finally, like this spike at 10 kilohertz. Now, yes, I know a lot of people had said that there is a spike at 10 kilohertz, but honestly, it doesn't bother me. What? Like at all, really. Not a big deal. Very, very minor thing. I am not annoyed with these headphones. I don't get tired of listening to them at all, and I find them very enjoyable. Bah! He disagrees. All right, well, let me say this, all right? As I said before, not everyone is looking for a relaxed listening experience. A lot of audiophiles or headphone nerds are looking for analytic precision. That's not what these are for. These are to chill, relax, listen to music, kick back, let everything go, and just take it easy. So if you're looking to analyze the music, if you're looking for an HD800S substitute, no, this is not it. But if you want to chill with the music, relax, just enjoy it, sit back, maybe even lull yourself to sleep, these are great. So I think they're a real masterpiece from Sony. Now they sell for $2,299 retail. You can get the international version though, which doesn't have the same warranty, for $1,699, and they are also coming down. Check out eBay because you might even get them cheaper than that. Thanks for listening. This grill feels awesome.